Good afternoon, happy Tuesday, and welcome to Coffee and a Card. So this is our weekly chance to get together and make a project and hear what you guys have been up to. And yeah, that's where we're at today. So welcome as you guys are getting in here, or welcome if you're watching later on the replay. That always works too. Oh, you know what? I have to change the orientation of my iPad so that I can see your comments. Because part of the fun of this is being able to respond to your comments. So that's why I like to have that up there. Happy Tuesday. We are in the midst of a string of gray, gloomy weather. And so on Saturday, Josh and I decided to put up our Christmas lawn inflatables. So yes, we are those people for the first time this year. I follow a guy on Instagram named Carlos Whitaker, and he puts so many inflatables in his yard, and I've watched him for years, and I just decided to try it. So here we are. I think we have maybe 6 inflatables in our yard, and it makes me happy every time I see them looking out the window. They all light up, and so they come on from like 5 to 10 p.m. And of course I have a poop emoji with a Santa hat, kind of like the one, I can't figure out which. It's hidden behind that stack of stamp sets, but that guy right there has a little Santa bell. I'll have to post a picture of it, of the whole yard. I think I posted the one of the poop emoji with the Santa hat and the outhouse, but we've added some more, and we've got some lights to do. And I know some of you guys commented and told me it was too early, but here's the thing, it's cold in Iowa. If I waited until after Thanksgiving, then I'd be putting them up in like 20-degree weather, and that's not happening. So, oh my gosh. Kathy's son-in-law and neighbor compete every year to see how many inflatables they can cram in their yards. That's really funny. I don't have that many yet. I say yet. I don't know that I'll ever cram it per se, but we do have a really big side yard that's along a busy street. So we thought it'd be fun to put some out there. So, I love Thanksgiving too. I just don't have any Thanksgiving decorations. And then of course you can see here, I'm also have brought out my Christmas gear. And so you'll see a lot of that from now through December. So today I wanted to start with, normally I start with Happy Mail. I don't have Happy Mail to show you. Well, there is some here, but I'm not going to show it today. So instead of Happy Mail, I actually want to show you a happy sign. So when I met Josh is my husband, he 2 weeks after our first date, he came to a craft show with me, and he got a peek into what it looks like to be at craft shows, and he started wondering what he could make to sell at a craft show. And so he decided to get into laser engraved signs, and not just signs, but he's also making kids crafts and all sorts of things. Well, he's been telling me for a while that he's been working on a surprise for me, and on Sunday, he surprised me with something. So I'm going to show it to you guys because you'll be seeing it in my videos. Check that out. So do you see what's right here? I always forget which way to move. You see this sign right here? I had this sign made at a craft show that I did about 6 years ago. Well, Josh took a picture and transformed it into a laser engraved, you can see the bark on the wood still. There's bark there on the edge of the wood. So he laser engraved it onto a sign. How cool is that? So I'm going to have to probably take down the white one over there and put this one up instead because it's so beautiful. You guys, I was amazed. So he's just been doing this for, we've known each other for 3 years. Yeah, 3 years last month. And so he's probably been laser engraving for maybe 2. year and a half, 2 years. He's learning a lot. So anyways, I just had to show that off to you guys because you're going to be seeing it in the background of my videos. And so now you'll know where it comes from. Okay, I am excited to show you guys a card. Let me see here. Patricia, you're asking how we store the inflatables in a tub. So they inflate nice and flat, so we'll just have a tub full of inflatables. Yes, I will tell Josh that you guys like them. It was very fun to see that sign. Okay, I am going to put my camera down so that we can take a look at iconic imagery. So this is a set from the Fall Mini Catalog, which, as crazy as it sounds, is already starting to wind down. Because, I mean, fall is winding down, and, you know, we're getting to the end of making Christmas cards. Well, some of you are. I am not. I think I have about 20 Christmas cards made, and I need about 300. So there's that. Anybody want to come over and make Christmas cards with me? That'd be super great. So today I'm going to use the iconic imagery set. And this has not just Christmas. You've got some candles here for birthdays. There's trees and leaves and snow. There's grateful. And then there is a set of dies that coordinate with it as well. And so you can cut out a lot of those images. And then I'm going to use this tag right here as well. And then it is a photopolymer set. So as you can see, when you use certain colors, it is going to stain, but your stamps are still perfectly usable. Okay. And I'm going to pair it with the Snowflake Sky embossing folder. You know, I should also say, I'm going to pause for just a second on my project and tell you that we are only 3 days away from my BOGO stamp sale. And some of them have been gently used. So during the BOGO sale, you might see stuff like this, and it doesn't mean that the stamps are dirty. It's just that some of the ink stains, some of them, but they still have years of life in them. So all that to say, I have about 450 stamp sets in the BOGO sale. And so this Friday night at 6 p.m. Central, you can join the BOGO sale over in my Paper Crafting Bargains Facebook group. And I'll post a link to that later because I forgot to put it in this video. But I will post a link to that so you can join that Facebook group because Friday night is going to be a live sale on Facebook. So, just side note. Okay, now back to our regular schedule of programming. I'm going to use 2 different packs of paper. One is called Snowy Scenes, and it has these adorable penguins in it. And then the other is Nests of Winter Designer Series paper because it also has some pool party patterns that work really well. So let me set these over here. Let's see here. I have about 16 card designs in process sitting around me for Christmas cards. And so it is like, it's danger zone around here, you guys, because everything could topple over at any second. It is just, I am living on the wild side. Okay, so like I said, these top 2 patterns here are from Nests of Winter. And you can see the birds here on the back. But they look so cute next to this penguin paper. So I wanted to pair those, and then I'm going to bring in a piece of Poppy Parade. Okay? So let's start with our embossing. So I've got a piece of basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to emboss some snowflakes on that. So I'll get my cut and emboss machine. We'll get our thick plate number 1. And the gray is plate number 4. Just gonna line my paper up here to that black line at the bottom. We put our embossing folders in spine first so that you don't create added pressure that'll crack your embossing folders. Trust me, I've done it. I have totally broken embossing folders. So trust me when I say spine first. All right. So we have our snowy scene, and it's going to tie in nicely with the snowflakes that we're going to be stamping and the snowflakes on the penguin paper as well. So I'm holding it up in hopes that you can maybe see some of the snowflakes, but I know sometimes embossing on white paper is hard to see. Okay. Oh, I should show you where we're going with this. This is the card that we're making. So, all right. So I'm going to take my designer series paper again, and we're going to start with cutting some strips. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a 1-inch strip. As long as your length is more than 5.5 inches, you'll be fine. We will trim it down later, so I'm not too worried about how long this scrap is, as long as I know that it's over 5.5 inches. All right, so then we'll do another 1-inch strip. And then with our penguins, let's get that penguin paper out here. This one, what I want to do is I want 2 penguins on a strip. So I'm going to start by lining up here, and I can see when I close my trimmer that I'm not going to cut into a penguin. And then I'm going to turn it around. It's got a little bit more on this side than I would like it to have. So we're going to cut off a little bit more. So this is going to end up being, let's see, about 1.25 inches. Yeah, it's about 1.25 inches. And then I'm just going to cut off 2 penguins. Whoops. Oh, my cutter just came out of the track. There we go. Okay, I want the penguin with the pool party hat, and then we're going to go with the Poppy Parade scarf here. Okay, let me put these papers aside. We don't need those. And last but not least, while I have my trimmer, I have a piece of Poppy Parade that's 4.25 by 11. So because it's a long one, I'm going to score it at 5.5. So that I can make my card base. All right, so we're gonna start with our snowy scene here, and I've got some pool party ink, and I've got the snowflake from our stamp set. I'm actually gonna set this right here. This is the front of the card, and it's going to be covered by this white piece, so that means I can use it to stamp on, and nobody will know that there is excess ink back behind there. Okay, so we're going to just add a few snowflakes here in the sky. Oops, didn't quite get that inked up. There we go. And I think I'll add a little bit right here. And maybe just a little right there. Yeah, that'll work. And I'm not worried about this ink right here. It just saved me from getting grid paper. Because once I tape down this white piece later, it covers up everything I just did. So we don't have to worry about that. All right, we'll set that aside, and we'll grab our white tag, which comes from that iconic imagery as well. And we'll add a second ink color here, which is Poppy Parade. And I'm going to stamp the word celebrate in Poppy Parade. And then we're going to take the season and I'm going to stamp that in Pool Party. There we go. Now let me close the Poppy Parade. We're going to keep our Pool Party here for a moment. And we're going to grab two more things. So, well, one more thing, the card insert. So I'm going to take snowflakes, and I'm going to put snowflakes on both of these. So I'm just going to add, we're going to stick it here on our card front again. We're going to add a few snowflakes to the top of our card insert. And then I'm also going to add some snowflakes here on my tag. So we'll add one there, and we'll stick one up here. Just like that, because it kind of just ties the whole card together when you add those snowflakes. But I like to show this little tip because, one, it keeps your desk clean. If you don't have grid paper or some sort of scrap paper handy, you can totally do this, okay? Nobody's gonna know. It's our little secret that we've done that right there. So first I'm gonna flip it over, and we're going to tape this to the inside just so we don't lose this piece on my desktop. We don't want those crafting gremlins to come grab this card insert. Okay, coming back to the front. Oh, see there. I should have shown that to you with the snowflakes. And then coming back to the card front, I'm going to take my strips of DSP, and I'm going to first put a flag, a banner end, in each one. So I cut up from the middle as far as I want the banner to go. And then from each corner, I go to meet that cut. So we end up with a banner end like that. Now the nice thing is, once you use this for one card, you'll have another strip. Once we cut it off, you'll have another strip that is ready to go and ready to be used on the next card. So if you were trying to mass produce maybe, or even just like 4 or 6 produce, that's about mass producing for me. Oops, I didn't quite get all the way to the corner. It is rare that I make more than 4 or 8 of a card. I usually do multiples of 4, but oh, one more. We're going to cut the penguin banner as well. So we're just making our little banner ends. Now there may be, you may have a punch that'll do this for you, and that works also. There we go. And we've got our 3 little flag ends. Okay, so now we can start putting these strips on our card. So I'm going to start with this dotted, checkered, whatever pattern this is supposed to be. And we're just going to apply some adhesive here. And I think I'll put that right about here. No rhyme or reason, just placing a banner. And then we'll add the next strip, and I'll make this one a little bit longer. So I'll make it sit a little bit longer. It's okay if you have a gap in between, because you'll see how with the penguin, it works to have a gap in between. I'm just going to set them side by side for right now, because we'll be putting the penguin paper on top of it. So now I'll come back here and I will just trim off this excess. And then, like I said, these are now ready to be used for your next card. Okay, so we got those 2. And then we are going to add the third one right here. And let's see here. I think I can do it probably right about there. Yeah, Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Okay, so I am going to find some dimensionals. Where'd they go? Here we go. And I am going to put probably more dimensionals than you think I should. But I really want, because this designer series paper is thinner paper, I really want to make sure that it's going to stay popped up in all the right places. So the edges of my dimensionals come in handy here because they're nice straight pieces. So I'm just using some of these edges that I've cut off here. I'm going to put a couple in the middle just so it doesn't bow. I mean, you can't go wrong with dimensionals. Generally, you don't need a lot of dimensionals. But with this particular card, I just don't want my designer series paper to cave in, if you will. So I am going to make real sure that this does not cave in on me. Okay, so I've taken all those backings off, and actually I need to tape this on the front of my card first. So we're going to add, oops, this is a 3D embossing folder. So I do like to tape around all four sides so that it stays nice and flat on my card. There we go. And now I can put this, just monitoring the bottom of my card, making sure I don't go off the edge of my card. There we go. Okay, don't worry about that. We'll take care of that in a minute. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting this on here, and I think we'll just go up a little bit so that we still see his cute little hat, but we don't cover up the top one. So what this means, because my banner is already dimensionalized, I don't need more dimensionals around this side of my tag. So all I'm going to do is flip it over so that my words are still right where I want them to be. So now I know I need tape on this side, and then I need some dimensionals on the other side. Okay. All right. So we're going to go a little high so we don't cover the hat, because you can still tell that it's a scarf. Let's see, I'm going to move over here a little bit. So we just have our little penguin. Ooh, that's a little bit crooked. Bear with me just a second. There are dangers to upside down crafting. Sometimes I can't tell that I'm doing something crooked. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this down a notch. I think that's a little better. All right, now I'm gonna fold this over so that we can trim off that excess tag piece. So just like we did with the strips on the embossed piece, we now will just trim off the excess of the penguins. So then I'm going to use some iridescent striped trim, which unfortunately I went to order some of this morning and it is out, but it will be back. So if you love this ribbon like I do, I actually had it on my list to order 5 of this roll because I was going to use it for a bunch of Christmas cards because I just love it. So it'll be back at the end of the month or early December. So I'll still have time to add it to my Christmas cards. I'm making a pretty small bow here, so that's why I'm kind of fiddling with it, because I need it to be fairly small. So just bear with me here while I finagle it. Is that even a real word? Finagle? I don't know. All right. I was doing a Zoom with my business partner this morning. We were doing a mystery stamping for All Good Cards Club, for the online club that we run, and we used the word cattywampus And I thought, what a great word. What a great word. Okay. So we're going to take our bow and I'm going to put it here. Let's see here. Kind of under my tag. And then I'm also going to use the iridescent, let's see, what are these? Iridescent faceted gems. So if you haven't seen this, this is how I store my embellishments. These are stamp cases. And I have a little labeler. I label the end. And then I have a DVD case holder, just like a plastic holder. And our stamp cases fit just perfectly in DVD storage. So anyways, if you're looking for ways to store your embellishments, there's another idea for you. Okay, we're just putting these on the inside of some snowflakes. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I gotta do one more. I'll just stick one up here. And there we have our Celebrate the Season, a fun way to use your scraps card. Because, you know, we're getting closer and closer to Christmas, and so we got to use up those scraps on our cards. So, and, you know, depending on how close or far apart you do yours. So this little guy, he's got the Poppy Parade hat on. This one had the scarf. So there's different penguins. And I just happened to put the red at the top. I did not actually do that on purpose. It would just depend on how you cut your paper, which two you might have. So if you cut this middle strip here, you would have two that have Poppy Parade with the earmuffs and the scarf. So anyways, just depends on which, whoa, balloons. It just depends on which penguins you use. All right, so there we have our card for today. And of course, later today, it'll be up on my blog with all of the supplies and measurements if you need them. And you can always catch the replays of these videos on YouTube also, in case you like to stick it on your TV or watch through some YouTube videos. I have my YouTube channel as well that you can find all of these replays. Okay, I think that's it. I will post the link for the BOGO sale so that you guys can come join the live sale Friday night with Josh and I. And other than that, don't forget to encourage one another and build each other up. I'll see you soon.